yeah, we started in NBA YouTube, both similarly making videos about the NBA, edited videos, traditional YouTube videos. Um, and you have transitioned into more so being a streamer. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like streaming has become a really big part of your brand.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, so if you could just take me through like that journey, like what drew you to streaming? Because I think in our community, you were really one of the first that really started streaming for real. So like, what drew you into streaming?
Mhm.
How has that transition been? How has it affected your YouTube side? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, as far as what drew me to streaming, because it's not like streaming or Twitch had a creator that I looked at and said, "Damn, I want to make stream content like that." It wasn't even anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was at a time where I literally had just finished college, probably about a month or two ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be able to do other stuff in content creation. Because the thing is, the reality is, and I know you made a huge pivot on your channel,
Mm-hmm.
but so you probably know the challenges of it, especially with NBA YouTube. It's like even my channel today, I still make a lot of video essays. I still make a lot of the stuff I made 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's just kind of how that channel works. And so drew me to live streaming was basically supposed to just be like an outlet, you know. It wasn't supposed to be as 2K heavy as it ended up getting, and
Mm-hmm.
these days it's not as 2K heavy. But I wanted to be able to do other stuff. I think that it was also not long after I had made that second channel, and the second channel I had, the whole idea of it was supposed to be literally a gaming channel. That also was not supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, again, I was in college when I started that, so I kind of
Mm-hmm.
got stuck with what I knew. But yeah, it was kind of like just along the same lines of that. It's like, okay, I have Dom2K and I'm always gonna make NBA videos there, but I want to do other stuff. I want to play Grand Theft Auto sometimes. At that time, I wanted to play Fortnite. I still play Fortnite a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't never got any good at it, but I still have fun playing
Yeah.
duos with it. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much what drew me to it. Just wanted to be able to do other stuff in content, and it was a thrill. There was a rush from it. Literally, the first time I streamed, it was kind of like the same feeling that I used to get making videos when I first started. Because when I first started
Uh-huh.
and you was getting recognition, there was like a burst of energy from it. And so I think getting on Twitch back then too, it was just really exciting. Gave me a lot of energy that maybe I didn't have creating videos too. And so I did that. But I didn't actually really start doing it until about a year later
Mm-hmm.
after I first started with streaming. And yeah, I credit streaming with a lot of the different opportunities outside of YouTube that I've gotten since then. Like literally working with the NBA is really probably partly because of streaming, because the NBA Twitch, they started doing a lot of stuff with creators and they saw that I was one of the live streamers. So that happened.
Mm-hmm.
The Tommy Hilfiger, when they just randomly wanted to get into gaming, somehow I was one of the people
Yo,
that they
I seen that on Instagram. Yeah, Dom's with Tommy. Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, that was extremely random. But yeah, just even working with Twitch in general, some of the activations that they've done. I got to work with Black Okage, who
Mm-hmm.
was one of
Got the
the
TBH.
yeah, it was like literally probably my favorite creator outside of Chris Move growing up. So that
Yeah.
was one of the craziest things. And yeah, I just think that it really helped with opportunities. And to this day, it still helps with opportunities now because of how much experience I've had streaming. It's been very easy to go to playback and help build that platform as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
like streaming is pretty much a second nature. So yeah, it helps. And as far as the way it's affected YouTube, quite literally, I just spend less time there.
Mm-hmm.
You know the ins and outs of YouTube's the challenge that can be with the algorithm, or whatever apocalypse is happening from year to year. And so I still very much enjoy NBA YouTube, so I still do it. But streaming is like I'm 50-50 these days. You were asking at the beginning if I
Mm-hmm.
transition to being more of a streamer. Hell, this year is probably more like 70-30, like 70 streaming, 30 YouTube. So yeah, it's affected it in that way. But I mean, it helps. Again, it really helps to not just have to make videos all the time. I recommend it for any creator. Diversify, because there'll probably be a time where you're tired of making videos, or you just get a little bit burnt out and you want to do something different. And so if you have a good streaming presence, then you can just do
Mm-hmm.
that for a while and then come back to making videos when you feel like it, kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say about it.
No, that's real, cause that was my next question. Like, were you burnt out making YouTube videos? And I think that was with me too, and that's why I started the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Why I've been streaming more, cause at some point, bro, the editing, the thumbnail work, cause I used to see those like speed runs that you would do on your thumbnail. Like you spend a lot of time on your thumbnails. Think about the title, the editing, the script writing, even the recording process. editing and then uploading it, and then I wouldn't say fear is the right word, but the anxiety, I guess, of like, yo, is this gonna be a banger or is it gonna be a 10 out of 10? And when it's a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, it feels like it's one of the worst feelings in the world. But then when it's a 1 out of 10, it feels great. Like that gets tiring.
Oh,
That
very.
gets tiring, and that's why like I've seen a lot of YouTubers, not just in our space but in other spaces as well. A lot of AMP, they started off on 2K YouTube, transitioned into streaming, and it's because of people getting burnt out. People getting burnt out about that whole process. And then when you start streaming, it feels like more low lift. You know what I'm saying? Not much more research goes into it. You just sit down, do what you got to do on your computer, vibe with your chat. In some ways, more lucrative with how much you can clip, how much you can make live. It's fun. So I definitely commend you and congratulate you for the success in terms of streaming, because the shit is fun, bro. The shit is fun. The shit is big. So I'm glad like you succeeded in that venture, because also pivots too. Like pivoting is a scary thing for a lot of creators.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like for years, certain things work for you, and like taking a left like you're gonna eventually, inevitably lose people that like was rocking with your
Mhm.
original content. So to pivot into this new lane and then build a whole new audience, that shit is big. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you for real.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, no, shout out to you with the podcast as well, because like I know how difficult it is to just grow something different. Like you were just talking about with pivoting, like growing. If you're not one of the people that has 1 million or 2 million subs, and you can just start new thing after new thing, if you're not up there, it's really difficult. And so yeah, no, that's yeah, it's been, your success has been crazy on that front too. That's not everybody can just jump into something else and grow a sizable audience and a consistent audience, especially when it comes to podcasting. And there's 1 million podcasts out there. That's a difficult thing.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, man. Let's go to Twitter, because in my opinion, you are like one of the faces of NBA Twitter at this point. Just from a numbers perspective, all the tweets I be banging and shit like that. Like, was there a point where you thought like Twitter specifically was an important part of your brand? Because for me, like it was always just I'm gonna just get my tweets off. If they bang, they bang. If they don't, if they don't. But for you
Mhm.
specifically, like, is that a big part of your brand, being a NBA Twitter guy specifically, or is it just like something you do on the side type shit?
A little bit of both, actually, because as many times as you see me tweet, like I always tell people it doesn't take a lot of time to send a tweet. Like I
Not
might
at
just
all,
be in
bro.
the middle of something and think of something real quick and go tweet it. That doesn't mean I was on Twitter for a ton of time. It does not take that much.
Hmm.
I'd say a little bit of both, because it really hasn't led to, I would say, too much other stuff. Whereas there's some really big accounts out there like King Josiah. I would say it's a huge part for him. He started on Twitter, and then you see him on podcasts
Yeah,
with
with
Gilbert
Gilbert
Arenas.
Arenas, yeah, yeah.
So it hadn't been like that for me, but undeniably, it probably is the second biggest part of my reach, which is
Hmm.
unfortunate, because Twitter, especially the way it's managed these days, could be gone tomorrow, or who
Yeah.
knows? You can't. It's the lack of control, but um, it's just the place where if I'm doing something else, like for playback,
Hmm.
really the playback's infrastructure is not all the way there yet. So a huge percentage of getting the viewers is that tweet notification. And so sometimes I do think about that. It's like, damn, if Twitter, actually did go away in like 2-3 weeks, how would I get anybody to play back? Because Instagram don't have that reach at all, or at least mine doesn't.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really know where else I would get that from. Um, but it does help. Like with Tommy Hilfiger, I think that's a big part of the reason that they ended up working with me,
Hmm.
even though I didn't agree with necessarily the way they went about it. They absolutely wanted me to post that stuff on Twitter, because that was probably that is, again, that's my second biggest follower account. And
Hmm.
so who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have been able to work with them if they didn't see that, because the Instagram is not popping. Nowhere else is really popping. And so they were like, "Oh no, we need you to post these on the live notice." Even though I tried to say at first, I was like, "Well, I really don't think people on Twitter care about this type of content, but okay."
Yeah.
Like, especially not on NBA, I don't think they don't care about this, but I'll do it, whatever, if that's what y'all request. So in that way, yeah, it's led to a couple opportunities, but most of it's just fun. As big as the account is and as much reach as it has, I just be tweeting shit, bro. I always tell people, don't take me too seriously. Every now and then I actually tweet what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm just out there joking and having fun watching the game and saying shit. And
Yeah.
people will want to go to war over the smallest thing you said. I'm like, brother, it took me 30 seconds to write this. I really didn't think of all the ins and outs of it. It's not. So it's a little bit of both. But I would very much prefer it not completely burden Crash, because the reach is there. You can't deny it. The reach is big. It's connected me with a lot of different people. So
that's the thing I always say about Twitter. It's addicting, and two, it's so surprising because a lot of your favorite creators are on it, but they don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are about their bag, but it's just so fun interacting with people. Honestly, a lot of my business DMs, they are actually on Twitter, so it's like a legitimate communication device for me. But like it's just interesting because everyone's talking about like go on this platform if you want to get paid, go on that platform if you want more reach. And Twitter is just like, I'm just on here for the vibes. Like I'm just here for fun. And I'm also glad that you mentioned too that like you mentioned that you embrace the casualness of NBA conversations, because I think like when we were coming up on YouTube too, and watching your videos as well, they were kind of on the serious side. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of on the serious side. There was a serious tone to them. Mine as well. And over the last couple of years, I've just made a concerted effort of, again, let's just have fun, bro. It's the NBA. Like, yo, I'm not trying to be Stephen A. Smith anymore. Maybe as a personality, but like I'm not trying to be the #1 analyst in the world. You know, I'm not trying to be the smartest in the room. Like, let's just have fun with these conversations. Go ahead and push your agendas. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun when the Lakers win, seeing Low on a Twitter space just going crazy. Shout out to Ash. It's fun seeing y'all go crazy, man. It's fun seeing y'all go crazy. Like, this shit is not that serious for real. So
not at all. Yeah. No. First to the first thing. I'm gonna have to come back to it because I had something to say about it and I forgot. But to Low, I always like read the replies in his tweets because people be furious, and I'm like, can y'all not tell that he absolutely knows y'all are gonna get mad about this and respond to it? Like, I doubt he really cares too much about these. He's really mastered that. But the other thought I had about Twitter will absolutely come back to me because you said something that I had thought about and it's gone now. That happens sometimes.
Oh, I said like no one's really getting paid on it. I don't know if that rings the bell for
paid, and then you went on to another thing. There was your DMs. Then we got the Low. There was something in between the Low that I had something to say about. It'll come back to me.
All right, okay. I was watching a couple months ago. The Media Merchants podcast.
Oh, my bad. I got you. Yeah, the pro shit of it. Yeah, with Twitter and really NBA content in general. That's another reason I don't really go that hard. You'll see in my videos even today. I try to I still have that serious tone of it, and I still actually try to talk about basketball and analyze it a little bit. But the thing that I accept is, hey man, there's people out there, and I follow them. There are people out there that know way more about this game than me. They are way better at breaking it down. They want to know more about it than me too. Yeah. So I let them have that space, and I enjoy it. I enjoy listening to them and watching them. But I know as much about basketball as I really aspire to at the moment, and I'm not trying to be the top analyst on Twitter. There are people that are really fucking good at that. So.
Yeah, hey, I ain't gonna lie. The moment I gave up on that dream, and shout out the Locker Room. I know you were a part of Locker Room too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eli, man. Shout out to Eli, bro. Because I don't know if you know him, but at the time, bro was 15, cooking everyone in NBA debates. Knew every single stat, every single advanced analytic, and he had a good eye test for it. Like he can describe the shit on the court. And I'm just like, yo, it came to a point where people would join Damo's rooms. They would say their point. Damo would then counteract with, a rebuttal. They would freeze up and they would say, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Can someone get Eli in here? Like, I think he'll just explain this better than me. At that point, and he's 15. He's like the new gen. Like, and there's a lot of people like him, bro. There's a lot, and I'm just like, this is just not for me, man. I don't have the time to watch all this footage. I don't have the time to look through all these advanced analytics and really understand the context of them, et cetera, et cetera. So, listen, man, let's just go off the vibes. Fuck it, man.
No, 1,000%. Because there's people that will go and break down like every pick and roll possession from the second stringer off the bench of an obscure team. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna let them have that because I
Yeah.
don't have fun doing that. And so yeah, I still enjoy the information and I can't, put it in the back of my mind, but I'm not threading that because it's just not what I enjoy. So I'm gonna let the people cook who want to really really get down there into the weeds. There's a lot of great talent, a lot of great minds out there, and sometimes you just don't need to create everything. Sometimes you could just sit back and enjoy. And so that's yeah, that's part of it for me.
Yeah.